Despite ongoing supply issues, Kia's flagship SUV, for now, set an all-time sales monthly record in November 2022 with 1,063 units, with 7,889 registrations recorded for the calendar year, an increase of 53.9%. Kia has been reporting lengthy wait lists on high-spec variants for yonks, and the Sorento is becoming an increasingly common sight on Australian roads. It remains one of the benchmarks in the unibody large SUV segment, combining space, luxury and overall driving refinement for an attainable price point, even at the top end. Here on test we have the 2023 Kia Sorento GT Line V6 FWD, which combines the flagship interior trim with the less popular front-driven V6 petrol drivetrain. With the Sorento hybrid and plug-in hybrid unavailable at this point, and the diesel AWD version commanding a hefty $3,000 premium, the car you see here is the cheapest and only petrol option version on sale with all the trimmings. The company recently told us supply had improved to the end of last year, and with Sorento sales up 109.5% year-to-date as of May 31st, it appears that's still the case into 2023. However, with a touchy facelift model due here before the end of the year, should you place an order on the current car or should you hold tight for the update? How much does the Kia Sorento GT Line V6 FWD cost? The Sorento GT Line V6 FWD on test retails for $62,070 before on-road costs, or $65,990 drive away according to the brand's online configurator, based on a Melbourne postcode. That's a hefty $7,220 more than the Sport Plus grade just one rung down, but also $3,000 more affordable than the diesel AWD, which is the overwhelming favorite amongst Australian buyers. Learn more. Despite being the top-spec variant, the GT line is positioned against mid-spec versions of big-name rivals, like the Toyota Kluger GXL, from $60,640, Mazda CX-9 GT, from $64,700, and Hyundai Palisade Elite, from $65,900. If you use the third row occasionally and are happy with something a bit smaller, options like the related Hyundai Santa Fe Highlander V6 FWD, $63,050, Skoda Kodiaq Sportline 4x4, $59,990 D/A, and Volkswagen Tiguan Allspace 162 TSI Line, $60,290, are solid alternatives. Even after a couple of minor price rises, you can see why so many buyers love the top-spec Sorento. Its excellent value for money. Crisp displays, quilted Nappa leather, and metal-like trim accents make the Sorento GT line feel like a more expensive vehicle than it is. The front seats offer full electric adjustment as well as heating and ventilation, with the driver's pew also offering memory. Ahead of the driver is a smooth leather steering wheel which feels great in the hands, and behind it is a 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster. The GT line is the only grade without analog dials. The cluster is clean and offers attractive graphics, if a little lacking in customization. You can't project maps into the cluster like Volkswagen Group alternatives, even if you can have turn-by-turn prompts show up if you use the embedded navigation routing. It is augmented by a color head-up display, and can tell you speed sign information, speed, or driver assistance information. Comfort up front is excellent thanks to the supportive seats, which offer a wide range of adjustment, as does the manually adjustable steering column. The upright dashboard and boxy body lend an airy, spacious feel up front. A good mix of soft touch and metallic aping surfaces give of a luxury vibe, as do the chunky switches and controls, though the metal-look trim bits are plastic. Atop the dashboard is a 10.25-inch touchscreen infotainment system which still looks fresh, and in typical Hyundai Kia style has simple menus, attractive graphics and pretty snappy loading times. Core features expected of modern cars like Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, DAB radio and satellite navigation are all present and work well, though the Sorento currently lacks a few bits increasingly common in 2023. Smartphone mirroring is wired, though the facelift will change that, and the Sorento doesn't offer Kia Connect online services like some other models in the range, which seems like a loss given its flagship status. Again, the facelift will bring this added functionality, but it's a shame Kia hasn't been more willing to add these sorts of things as running changes. Storage and practicality up front is pretty good too. There's a lidded cubby at the base of the dashboard with a wireless phone charger as well as 3 USB-A outlets, one for Apple CarPlay/Android Auto, and 2 charging ports. The cubby is so deep you can hide away the cables when you have your phone hardwired in for smartphone mirroring by closing the lid. Wireless functionality with the facelift will still be a welcome upgrade. A pair of large, toothed cup holders sit in the center console, backed by another slot for smaller items like keys and coins. Under the padded, leatherette-lined front center armrest there's a well-sized bin that can carry larger items. My main gripe is the skinny door bins, which can't hold larger bottles. The Sorento remains one of the segment benchmarks for second-row accommodation, with plenty of room for larger adults in head, leg, knee, and toe room. Having the panoramic roof creates an airy and spacious feel, and lets in heaps of light. It doesn't impede on the rear headroom like you might find in some other vehicles. Amenities like a fold-down center armrest with cup holders, heated outboard seats, map pockets, isofix and top tether points, as well as a sliding bench all help the Sorento meet your family's various needs. Even better, the third row is accessed via a quick-release button on the outer seats, which remotely tumbles and slides the second row pew out of the way. No need to yank the backrest and then slide the thing forward. Once you're back there, the Sorento offers good space for the class, but won't be challenging a Palisade or Carnival anytime soon. Isofix anchors and cup holders feature back there, which is handy, as well as individual fan controls for the wall-mounted air vents. Boot space is unchanged relative to the Sorento diesel. Kia quotes 187L with the third row in place, 616L in 5-seater configuration, and 2011L with just the first row seats up. The Sorento range features a full-size alloy spare wheel underneath the rear, something that's not a given these days. What's under the bonnet? On test we have the 3.5-liter MPI naturally aspirated V6 petrol engine, driving the front wheels only via an 8-speed automatic transmission. Kia quotes outputs of 200 kilowatts, 6,300 RPM, and 332 Nm, 5,000 RPM, from the naturally aspirated 6, which compares favorably to the diesel on power, 148 kilowatts, but not quite on torque, 440 Nm. Australian Sorentos, as well as related products, don't offer all-wheel drive with the 6-cylinder powertrain, apparently due to packaging difficulties when converting from left to right-hand drive. The V6 FWD variants quote combined fuel consumption of 9.7 liters per 100 kilometers, 6.1 L/100 km for the diesel, and CO2 emissions of 222 g per kilometer. All non-hybrid Sorento models feature a 67-liter fuel tank, with the V6 compatible with regular 91 RON unleaded. Both the V6 FWD and diesel AWD variants quote a brake towing capacity of 2,000 kilograms, with tow ball download of 200 kilograms. How does the Kia Sorento GT Line V6 FWD drive? If you can do without all-wheel drive, the Sorento V6 is a smooth operator. The 3.5-liter V6 offers linear performance and is very happy to rev out to its sweet spot when you need it, given peak torque doesn't come in until a lofty 5,000 RPM. When you're giving it the beans, the 6-cylinder motor has a lovely, brassy note that's well insulated to maintain refinement, but is also nice to hear compared to some of the buzzy or rattly sounds you hear in this class. I also commend Kia's calibration of the 8-speed automatic, which is responsive and intuitive at the same time. Sometimes I find the 8-speed DCT in the diesel can be a little elastic off the line and at low speeds. This has no such issues. Kia also has a knack for nailing ride and handling tunes with its local team, and for the most part the Sorento GT line offers a ride that could challenge much more expensive metal in balancing comfort and dynamics. While the 20-inch wheels on the GT Line V6 and diesel can get a touch jittery over sharper and high-frequency imperfections around the city, the Sorento is very composed with an almost European tautness that rarely if ever crashes or jars. Even better, once you hit the open road it settles nicely, feeling beautifully planted and secure at 110 km per hour on undulating country highways. The steering strikes a balance and is light enough to easily maneuver this family bus in tight urban areas, while also having enough weight and feedback to confidently keep you on the straight and narrow or corner confidently. With that said, the lack of all-wheel drive means you're best to drive the Sorento in a more relaxed and measured manner to avoid lighting up the front wheels, especially in adverse weather. If you want a petrol Sorento with all-wheel drive, you'll have to put an expression of interest down for the hybrid or plug-in hybrid, which are significantly more expensive. Overall refinement at speed is pretty good for the class, though there's a bit more tire roar off the GT Line's 20-inch rims than would be expected of a premium vehicle, something that separates this Kia from the likes of the Audi Q7 and Volvo XC90, though it's far from unrefined against some rivals. Wind noise is pretty well suppressed despite the larger wing mirrors, but you can get some whistle over the sunroof. Close the shade though, and it's a nice place to spend time on family road trips. Kia's driver assistance systems are pretty well sorted, with user-friendly and intuitive adaptive cruise control and lane keep assist features, and having lane following assist activated, essentially semi-autonomous driving, though some may not like the over-assisted feel of the vehicle keeping itself centered in the lane. The blind spot view monitor cameras exclusive to the GT line give you an extra degree of visibility, particularly when negotiating tight gaps in traffic, complemented by the usual blind spot and rear cross-traffic assists that will apply corrective steering or brake respectively to keep you out of harm's way. Just as handy is the surround camera system with 3D view, which makes parking this 4,810mm long and 1,900mm wide SUV so much easier when you're squeezing into tight car parks.